Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome our 2022 Masters runner-up, Rory McIlroy, to the media centre. Rory, what a magnificent round. 64, 6 birdies and an eagle. It ties the low round in the Masters on the last day, and a magical finish. Can you talk us through it a little bit?
Yeah. It's sort of, I was saying out there, it's been such a weird year for weather conditions and playing in a ton of wind, and I think about the players in Bay Hill and even last week in San Antonio. I feel like we haven't had a lot of days like this year where you can actually get after the golf course, and finally we had a day where you could get after it. And I just sort of thought to myself, what the hell, let's just give it a go here. And I started off really well with a birdie on one, and then just tried to keep the foot down. And I played a really, really good round of golf. I knew it would take something incredible to try to, at least give Scotty something to think about. I thought I'd maybe done that with, with holding that bunker shot on the last. I got to within 3 at that point. But then Scotty's just sort of been unflappable and birdied 14 and 15, and he's closing this thing out like a champ. So hats off to him. He's sort of been head and shoulders above everyone else this week, and I played great today, and I've actually had a really, really good weekend, and I'm proud of my performance. So I'll keep coming back year after year until I get the hang of this thing and hopefully get one. But it was a great week all around, and all I can take are the positives from it.
That's great. We'll open up for questions. Ewan?
Normally, it's strange. Normally, your kind of main moments or celebrations are when you win things, but that scene on 18, I don't know if you've seen it back, but when you hold that bunker shot, the celebration was really quite something. Can you explain what that was and what that meant and what that was about?
I mean, honestly, I thought it just gave me a chance. I think that's the thing. It was like at that point, Scotty was at 10. That got me to 7 for the tournament. And he still had to play. I didn't know if he was on 12 at that point or whatever it was, but he still had some tricky holes to navigate. So I thought it'd at least give me a chance. And it was like the third shot I'd held from off the green today. It was just sort of like, it was a round Seve would have been proud of, I think. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun to cap off a day like that today with a shot like that. It was just that scene on 18 with me holing and then Colin holing after me. It was just really cool to be a part of, and makes me just excited to get back here next year and give it another shot.
Dylan?
Yeah, Rory, when you finished your round yesterday, you were around 20th. Well back of the lead, obviously. At what point today did you start to think about, what that first place number was?
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously yesterday was a really difficult day, and I think I finished, well, as you said, when I got off the course, I was, just in the top 20. But then by the end of yesterday, I was T9, I think, going into today. My player number this week, 63, and I thought if I could shoot 63 today, that might give me a chance. So that was sort of the number in my head today. I didn't quite get there, but I gave it a good shot. But again, all I wanted to do was just, I've been in that position, and I've had the lead on the back 9 here and haven't been able to get it done. So I know how it feels, and I know what can happen. So I just wanted to try and put a little bit of pressure on, and I feel like I did that, but Scotty sort of just sort of handled everything so well this week.
Luke?
Rory, when you say you're going to go out there and just give it a go, what does that mean exactly? Are you hitting different shots, firing at more pins, thinking differently?
Yeah, I think just being a little more aggressive. Maybe my aim points with my second shot are a little more aggressive. I sort of took dead aim at the flag on 1. Maybe took my tee shot a little further left on 2. I took my tee shot a little further right on 3 to try to get the green. Just sort of stuff like that. Just sort of aim points a little less margin for error, basically. And I guess it at that point, it was sort of, you go out there today and you give it a go, and if it doesn't quite work out, it doesn't really matter. But if it does work out, you can have a day like this and have some fun.
Brantley.
Rory, do you feel like it's tougher to have that go for broke attitude on a Thursday because, you could just as easily shoot yourself out of it?
Yeah, 100%. Thursday, especially in this golf tournament, is not the day to be super aggressive. It's a day to just hang in there. And I've said all week, it's just about hanging around. This what this tournament's all about. Hang around until you get to a spot where you feel comfortable to be aggressive, and that was where I was today. I found myself a little too far back, but that wasn't because, I don't think that was because of my game plan. I thought I've played okay, especially yesterday. I played well to shoot under par, but Scotty just had such a lead. Like, it wasn't just me that struggled the first 2 days. It was basically every other person in the field apart from Scotty. So I thought my strategy this week was really, really good. I said after the first 2 days I could have been a few shots better. There was that double bogey run on 10 and 11 on the first day, which was a little soft, but or on the second day, sorry. But apart from that, I basically did everything I wanted to this week. I think I was -3 strokes gained on the greens after the first 2 days, so that wasn't ideal. But I played really nicely over the weekend, and so yeah, getting back to your question, I don't think it is the right strategy to go for broke from the first day. I mean, obviously you can get on a run and shoot a good score, but you're basically trying to just play yourself into the tournament.
Howard?
It's obviously easier to play that free and easy way when you're starting the day 10 strokes back rather than when you're in the final pairing. But how do you take that mindset, that attitude, the skills that you use today when the next time that you're in a final pairing, the next day you're teeing off late Sunday at Augusta?
Yeah, I mean, I think just all these memories that are building up, and I think, I've had some really good Sundays here from a little further back, and it is about trying to channel whatever attitude that is that I bring into, the 66 I shot with Tiger in the final group in 2015, or not the final group, but the final round. Obviously today, I've had a few other rounds where I haven't been quite in contention and shot good scores. So I think the more and more I do it, the more memories I sort of build up, the more that if I do put myself in a position closer to the lead going into Sunday, that I can delve into that memory bank and try to use those memories and my experience to my advantage.
Scott?
Sort of building on that, do you think that a performance like this today sort of resets you coming back next year when you take another shot at this? Like, wow, I know I can do this now.
Yeah, I mean, I've always known that I could do it. I mean, I've played good enough around here. Maybe just having strung 4 rounds together like that, but I've always known that I have the game to win at this place. It's just a matter of having that game for 4 days in a row and not not making the big numbers and not shooting yourself in the foot, I guess. So, and that's sort of that was my attitude the first couple of days. I certainly I didn't do that. I played for pars quite a lot, but in the course of a tournament, you are going to find spots where you go on a little birdie run, or you try to take advantage of some of the good golf that you play, and I did that today. But yeah, I don't think it just sets me up for next year. I think it sets me up this year just for the rest of the year. I feel like my game has sort of been quietly pretty good without the results to really show for it. But again today, it was a golf course that I felt was gettable, and I feel like I'm playing well enough to go out there and shoot those sort of scores.
Eamon?
Rory, was there any shot or moment today where you thought it was concrete evidence of the work you've been doing with Michael on your swing lately?
Yeah, I mean, tee shot on one, to start off with that tee shot and be, very comfortable hitting it down that left side and just sort of working it back off those trees. 5-iron into the fourth hole, thought was particularly good. Yeah, I think, there was a couple of left ones in there later in the round, and I sort of get that where my lower body stops moving, and I sort of hit these sort of smothery pull draws. But I hit a really nice 7-iron into 16. So yeah, like I think, everything's sort of heading in the right direction. And I feel good with where my golf swing is. I feel like it's in a good place. I'm not over-analyzing it. I'm not looking at it in the video too much, but it feels pretty good. And, the ball is, basically doing what I wanted to do more times than not. So, that's a good thing.
John.
Rory, what was the thing, or what is the thing that pleased you most about today? And I don't necessarily mean a particular shot, anything. And secondly, where do you rank this round amongst your cracking rounds, your really good rounds?
It's certainly the best round I've had here. It's probably one of the best rounds I've had in a major championship. What pleased me most as well was, the par putt on 11, the, 2 putt on 12, the up and down on 14, the up and down on 17, just those, they're not going to be the highlights of the round, but they're the things that keep your round going. After chipping in on 10, if I hadn't got that up and down on 11, it's just a big momentum killer going into 12 and 13, and just those little putts, and honestly, those are sort of the putts and the up and downs that I didn't make earlier in the week, but I started to make them the last couple of days, and those are the things that are really pleasing, and they're not the things that are going to get the highlights or the plaudits, but it's it's those little things that keep the round going. That's what I was most proud of today.
Sean?
I know it's hard to nitpick when you shoot 64, but 14 and 15, not giving yourself chances.
Yeah.
When you have had that momentum after the eagle on 13, are you going to kind of regret that a little bit, that you didn't really have that much of a chance to go for it on 15?
Yeah. 14, 15, 16. I think those 3 holes are the holes that I'll look back on, and if I had just been able to hit the fairway on 14 and 15, that was such a funnel pin there that, you hit a decent shot and you're going to have a good look for birdie. And then 15, sometimes you hit a bad tee shot on 15 and you're not that angry about it, because it just means you don't have a decision to make and you just try and make birdie with a wedge. And I felt like I hit a good wedge shot. It just, that green got pretty firm today and just skipped through to the back edge. So, yeah, those are the 3 holes. And then 16, I hit a good shot and I just hit the putt a little firm up that hill. But, yeah, look, you're nitpicking at this point, but you're always going to look back and think about what could have been. But even if I had a birdie those 3 holes, yes, maybe I would have put a little more pressure on Scotty, but he's finished this thing off really, really well today, and there's not much else I could have done about that.
Alex?
Yeah, Rory, 2 things. One, after you made the eagle at 13, what was your mindset? Did you really think that you probably had a pretty good chance at that point to catch Scotty? And then 2, do you leave here ever feeling any better than you do today?
So when I eagled 13, just as I was alluding to, I thought, 14, 15, 16 are birdie holes, especially with the pin positions on 14 and 16. So, I sort of thought if I could, if I could maybe make 2 of the next 3, that would have got me to whatever that would have got me to 8 under for the tournament, and then maybe 2 off the lead. Who knows? So that's what my mindset was. It was sort of to try to birdie 2 of the next 3 holes. And no, I don't think I've ever walked away from this tournament as happy as I am today. I've played a really good round of golf. It's my best ever finish at Augusta. It's not quite enough, but I'll certainly look back on this day with very fond memories, and as I said at the start, it just gives me confidence going forward, not only into the next Masters next year, but to the rest of the season as well.
Phil?
Rory, apologies for coming in late, but I was just watching Scotty four-putt the last, which you're probably not aware of.
Oh, no.
Looking forward to next year. I know it's tough when you've only just finished, but you said earlier in the week that sort of missing the cut in Texas wasn't a bad cut to miss. Just any early thoughts on sort of preparations for next year? You've tried it all different ways. How did you think it went this year?
I thought it went well this year. I got 2 good practice days here last week on Monday and Tuesday, and then headed to San Antonio Tuesday evening. And that, look, San Antonio was not the way I wanted to play, but I learned a lot. I changed golf ball on a Thursday afternoon. I went from a golf ball I've been playing for the last year back to a golf ball I played 3 years ago. And that was a good change, especially with how windy it was here the last couple of days. So, it certainly wasn't the result I wanted in San Antonio, but what I learned in those 2 days playing there, and then having the next 2 days off to practice at home and get dialed in with the distance that I'm hitting this other golf ball and spin rates and ball flights and all that sort of stuff, it just gave me a couple extra days to work on some things that I wouldn't have been able to work on had I have made the cut in San Antonio. So, that's why I said it wasn't a bad cut to miss at the end of the day. And but it was still nice to get some competitive golf. I like to play my way into these things, and maybe next year I'll do the same thing. But I do like playing my way into majors whenever the schedule permits it, and whenever I feel like it's the right thing to do. But I like to be competitive and sharp on the way in, and I felt like I was as sharp as I could have been, I guess, coming into this week.
Ewan?
Sorry to bother you again. You touched on it in terms of results, but despite sometimes how you feel or what you think in yourself, do you sometimes need days like this to kind of validate exactly what you're doing and say, yeah, what I'm doing is right, I'm on the right path? Does a day like this matter like that? I mean, can that be a real help to you?
Yeah, I think so. I think it does. It's no good feeling like your game's in good shape and finishing 30th every week and thinking that you're on the right path. So every now and again, it's nice to have results like this, just to reaffirm that what you're doing are the right things. And the only person that beat me this week is the guy that's currently the best golfer in the world. So I'm on the right track and I'm doing the right things, and it was just nice to feel that buzz in a major championship again. It's been a while since I felt that, and I think the last time was trying to make a cut at a British or at an Open Championship was the last time I felt a buzz like that in a major. So so this was certainly better than that. But I'm excited going forward, and I think again this day will stand to me, not just in Masters in the next few years, but also just for my career going forward.
And last question, Brian.
Rory, well played today. You've spoken in the past of how you've gotten off to, in your major wins, you've gotten off to really fast starts. I'm just wondering, you've had some quite slow starts over the last few years. I'm just wondering, have you any theories as to why it seems to be more difficult for you to get up and running quickly in the majors these days?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason for it. I mean, I'm, as I alluded to earlier, just trying to play my way into the tournament. It's not like you're not going to go out and shoot 66 every time you tee it up in the first round of a major, and win by a ton of shots. It's not, it's happened before, and it's just sort of. These golf tournaments especially are just about, I keep saying it, but just about hanging around. Like, you sort of know what the winning score is going to be at the end of the week, and it's just trying to gradually build day after day until you maybe get to that point. But you try to come out of the blocks too fast, and that's when you can start to make mistakes, especially on golf courses that are as treacherous as this one, or the places that we play in major championships. It is nice to get off to good starts and be up the leaderboard early, because I feel the earlier you get up there, almost the easier it is to stay there in some ways. But at the end of the day, you still have to just bide your time and play your way in, and I'll have major championships where I'll start fast and have chances, like the U.S. Open last year, and I'll have starts like this where I'll get off to a bit of a slow start. But there's always a point in the tournament where you have your chance to make a move, and today was that chance for me. And other majors, it could be a third round or a second round or whatever it is, but at the end of the day, we all have to play 72 holes, and the 72nd hole is just as important as the first one, and you just have to treat it like that.
Rory, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Have a great season, and we'll see you back in 2023.
Yes, thank you. Cheers, John. Thank you.